Hello, this is Joe Glines, and in this video I'm going to show you that basically the macro facility in SPSS is really just a string parser, and there's some fun and easy ways to play with it that can really save you a lot of time if you understand how to make a couple minor tweaks into your code. In here, what I've done is I have a dataset open. Let me get this all uppercase. It doesn't matter, it's just to be a little easier to see that they're all the same. And I'm using the means command, and these are my dependents. So here it's the job, I think this is like responsibilities. It's a list of variables, and then whether they use different things, right? So these are all the dependents. In here, what I do is I have a by, and what I've done is I've inserted here this exclamation point by. Now that is actually a macro that doesn't have any token values or anything. It is just whatever I put in there. So there are no parameters, it's just the text, right? And I've also done it under here for stats. For now, let's not pay attention to the stats part. I just want to show you what can happen here if we just play just alone with just the by part, right? So this first is a script I have that will empty my output window. This is the code it's going to run across, it's probably several dozen variables. This two scripts, this empties, it gets rid of the case summaries and measures associations, because for my purposes right now, I don't care about those things. So I'm going to run this real quickly here. And actually, first let me show you, I'm going to run this, and I'm going to defend by, BUY. BUY is what do you call it? A system variable. So I'm going to defend BUY as gend, which is a variable in my data set. Now I've just defined it, and now I'm going to come back here and say, okay, let's run this and empty, get rid of the stuff I didn't want. So here you can see there's male, female, male, female, male, female, male, female. This is across the different ranges, and what it's doing is it's computing the averages, which because they're zeros and ones, when you compute the averages, that's actually the percentage that are that, and it goes across all of them. So this is great, not a big deal. You can do this ordinarily with the means command. But what if now I want to go back and I want to repeat the same tables, so this table, this table, this table, this table, but I want to switch my independent variable and I want to use this tenure variable instead of gender, right? So I would have to come through however many, in this example, of course, I have, 4 tables in a report. I could have dozens or hundreds or whatnot. And I'd have to go through and either replace them all or do a search replace, right, and mess with it. But here, all I have to do is watch this. If I run this, now I've just, all I have done is said this BUY, instead of having gend in there, it's going to put this in here. And so now, and I'm going to empty the output when I do this, I run this. Notice I have the tenure in here instead of gender, and so it did it for all of the tables, right? Again, this could have been pages and pages long, but it would swap them out for all of them. And that can just be, it can save you an amazing amount of time, depending on what you're working on and how big your data set is. Now, what if I wanted to have the mean? Sometimes, like in my output here, I'm just showing the means. But what if I wanted the counts instead, right? Well, if I set this up this way, where my stats are part of a macro call also, I'm going to run this. I'm going to redefine stats to be just count. And so now, when I go and run this, what you'll see is it's putting in the counts. Oh, looks like I didn't run this part to clean it up. So here we go. Now we have the counts of number of respondents that are in each group, right? So it's a quick, easy way for me to swap out. Instead of showing the means, I can show counts. Or what if I want the mean and the count, right? I just redefine it, come back here, run all of this, and now in each one I have the mean and the count. Now for graphing purposes, I don't like this because I like to be able to grab the whole things and show them side by side. But sometimes it's very helpful to have the n actually right up in there with it. Or let's say I wanted to have my ANOVA testing, right? So I can run this, and now when I come back, empty the output, run the whole thing. Notice I have my significance testing, which shows me which ones had significant differences. Now, this is actually separate from this table. I have another macro. Now, everything I've shown here is just, to me, it's kind of like just a little trick, right? I'm swapping out by with putting in gend in the case by, or sometimes it's this one, and putting in here. But let me show you real quickly my beautiful, what I call my beautiful macro, because it really makes my analysis a lot easier. So I have a little hot string that's going to pull up the stuff. So here, and in this case, and actually, let's see, this should theoretically, I've never tested this, but let's say I'm writing the wrong thing. BUY, and I'm going to say this is job, what in the world was job responsibilities? Alright, that's close enough. Now, when I run this, it's going to be doing a lot of things. And apparently, oh, it didn't, oh, I have the 2 in there twice. Sorry, that should take care of it. There we go. What it actually did, and of course there's nothing significantly different here, which would have been nice. So you know what, let me change by to, that was tenure, so let's change it to Gen. And now let's rerun this. There. So what it did, which to me was amazing, was it did the simple, I'm using the means thing, I'm using actually the same test, but it flips the data. It moves the counts down here, it moves the averages here side to side, so this is really easy from the graph, and then it also moves the significance testing up in the same row. So right here I can see there's no statistical difference between males and females, no difference between them here, but on public relations, right? Males apparently are more likely to be in public relations than females. And down here, website, internet, social media, females are more likely to be doing it than males, or close, depending on what your cut level is. And down here again with other, right, males were more likely to be doing other things. So anyway, this is my actual macro that I have that encompasses the whole thing. This to me is just a quick, easy way to demonstrate how easy it is to use a macro without really even using, to me, a macro, because there's no token values and nothing. That's it. Thanks.